Hi everyone, little different kind of video for today. I want to talk to you about ICL surgery, which I'm planning on having pretty soon. ICL stands for Implantable Collamer Lens, and what that is basically you can think of it as an implanted contact lens. So it's a lens that they put inside your eye. It goes behind your iris and in front of your natural lens. And what this is mostly used for is to correct nearsightedness. And so, why would I consider this instead of something else like LASIK, right? So, one of the good things about ICL is it can correct stronger prescriptions than LASIK. LASIK generally tops out at about a -8. My prescription is a -10 or 11, and I also have astigmatism on top of that. So LASIK is not an option for me. Why would I consider, surgery, period? Glasses and contacts are fine, right? Well, I did always think that, I don't mind wearing contacts. Glasses aren't great for reasons that I'll explain more coming up. But, the problem with contacts is they're getting harder to wear as I get older. And also, my prescription is at the limit of the contacts that I currently wear. Um, Last year, my eye doctor kind of likes to tweak things, and so he increased the prescription of my right eye beyond -10, which is the limit of my current contacts. So I had to get a special contact, which he ordered for me as a trial. And you know what? It was a little clearer in distance vision, but the contact was just very hard for me to wear. I trialed them for a week, and after a couple of hours of wear, it was very uncomfortable. I had to take them out. So I just asked my eye doctor, "Can you just please put me back in my old contacts?" And he did. But it got me thinking. If my eyes get any worse, I might not be able to wear contacts anymore. And I do get much better vision with contacts than glasses, so that would be a real problem. The thing with glasses when you have a high prescription is you get all kinds of distortion, especially at the edges. Like, I can see pretty well looking straight forward in front of me through the center of the lens, but the distortion at the edges is pretty distracting. Straight lines will appear curved. Colors diffract at different rates. It's kind of a weird effect where colors will start to kind of separate. You've seen that effect in a prism that splits light into a rainbow. You get something similar to that going on with your glasses. Also, contacts are not risk-free either. Wearing them, you deprive your cornea of oxygen. Taking them in, putting them out, you can scratch your cornea. They can cause dry eye, which can be uncomfortable and perhaps even dangerous. I've had all of these things happen to me over the years, and I can't really see these problems improving over time. After decades of wearing contacts, the risk probably is no worse than surgery. It might even be higher. I've been watching ICL for a while, several years, thinking about it, and while I was comfortable wearing contacts, I wouldn't consider surgery on my eyes. But a couple of things happened that made me consider it and want to go for it. And for one thing, there's a new version of the Visian ICL that just got approved in March 2022 in the US by the FDA. And this lens is called the EVO lens. You might also find it as the V4C or V5. It's been available in other countries since 2011, but the FDA is very slow about approving anything. I had even considered maybe going out of the country to get this. So the difference with the Evo lens is, okay, we got to get into that, how the ICL works a little bit. So the ICL goes into your eye, and the earlier lenses had this problem where it kind of interrupted the movement of fluid within your eye. So the way surgeons alleviated this is they kind of use a laser to punch a hole in your eye, basically, and that restores the fluid flow. Well, that's not the greatest sounding thing, is it? So the newest lens has a hole in the lens itself, and that restores natural fluid flow. And it's a better fluid flow than punching that hole in your eye. That new design seems to eliminate just about all risk. Risk of glaucoma was a risk, cataracts was a risk, and looks like those are basically eliminated now. Another factor for me personally is the lens is approved for use in 21 to 45-year-olds in the US, and I'm a lot closer to the 45 end of thing than 21, and it's like, all these factors coming together, it's harder to wear contacts. If I wait too long, I might lose this option. So, it seems to be a good time for me. I get the best, newest lens at an age where I'm not too old, and I feel like the risk is low enough to be acceptable. Also, this lens, it appeals to me more than LASIK in some ways, because, LASIK, they cut that flap in your cornea, they fold it over, use a laser to vaporize your cornea, right, and then put this flap back, which continues to be a weak point in your eye and guarantees you're going to get dry eye, right? So the ICL, it's a non-permanent procedure. I mean, it's designed to be permanent. When it goes in, it can stay with you for the rest of your life, but if there's some kind of problem, it can be removed. And, that's comforting to know. And the surgery is relatively easy. They make about a 3-millimeter incision in your eye, put the lens in, it's kind of folded up, and then the surgeon will unfold it and put it in place. In some ways, it's actually less drastic, I think. I just want to describe to you a little bit about what -10 looks like. And maybe I'll roll in some video that I found a guy made a video, he has a -11 prescription, and made a video about this is what it looks like through my eyes. And I think he did a pretty good job. It looks pretty accurate to me. So people say they can't see, right? Everybody says that if they wear glasses, basically, but can't see really means it's black, right? You see nothing. And of course, we can see, but if you're very nearsighted, then you really are disabled without glasses or contacts. So I can see colors and shapes, but no detail at all. Like in my house, I know who's who, of course, because it's a familiar environment. But for example, from across the room, yeah, I could see a person, identify that person, but I can't see your facial expressions. I can't see where your eyes are pointed. I definitely cannot read or see any kind of fine detail. I cannot read unless something, or see my phone, unless something is so close to my face that I can't focus on it with both eyes. I can only get one eye on it, or I'd be super cross-eyed. I can't do that. And like my phone has to be so close to my face I can see the individual pixels. There's like a little gap between each pixel, and I can see that. So, yeah, just to give you an idea. I do want to comment real quick. I am not legally blind. Most people are not. I think there is a misunderstanding as to what legally blind means. Okay, so I hear people say, Without my glasses, I'm legally blind. Well, that's not the definition of legally blind. Okay, legally blind means your best corrected vision is no better than 20/200. On the eye chart, that's basically the big E. So what that looks like would be like what a -3 kind of prescription looks like. Um, so if you wear a -3 prescription, imagine without your glasses or contacts, that's the best you can see. Um, that is what legally blind means. So far in my ICL journey, I have been through my pre-op exam, or consult as my eye doctor calls it. I'll just tell you what I went through in case you're thinking of this for yourself. Before the exam, I had to go without any contacts for 14 days. That's the longest I have been out of my contacts since I started wearing them in 8th grade, and it's not the greatest experience, but they do this to make sure that your eyes return to their natural shape. You don't want to make all these measurements and stuff with an altered eye, because then your surgical result wouldn't be too good. The exam took about 2 hours. They used a bunch of machines on me. First, I think, was the auto refractor. That's that thing you look through and there's like a house in the distance, and it kind of zeroes in on your prescription. And then they put the thing with a bunch of lenses in front of your face and ask you which one's better, 1 or 2, to just zero in on it. That's kind of standard eye exam stuff, right? And another machine they used, I don't know the names of all these machines, I'm sorry, but I'll just tell you my experience. They used a machine where I looked into like a bowl kind of thing. There were these concentric blue circles that just lit up around my head, my eye, and it wasn't overly bright. I think this has something to do with measuring the eye. They used another machine which had like a rotating blue column, is what it looked like to me, like a giant letter I. Assume that does something else to measure the eye. They used a retina scanner on me. It's like you're looking at this red screen, and they tell you to stare at like this green asterisk kind of thing. And you also see these wavy red lines up and down, side to side. It's kind of like Terminator looking. It's pretty cool. They did an eye pressure test of me, and they kind of numb your eye for this because they have to touch your eye with like a pin, and that just checks the pressure in your eye to make sure it's healthy. The kind of weirdest sensation was when they did an ultrasound of my eye, and you're numbed up for this, and they put like on my eye like this it seemed like a cylinder that they put on my eye, and then they filled the cylinder with a fluid, and then used the ultrasound probe or whatever it's called to make the vibrations. I couldn't really feel any vibrations. It takes ultrasound pictures, and that wasn't painful at all. It was just a little weird. But the purpose of the ultrasound, several purposes. It's to get a detailed picture of the inside of your eye and make sure there's space to fit the lens, and what size should the lens be. Some people may not have enough space in their eye to have an ICL implant, so that's something they need to check. The only uncomfortable part of my exam really was when they used the retina camera. This is a device that takes pictures of your retina, and they do that by shining a very bright light into your eyes, and of course you're dilated for this, and they take 4 or 5 pictures per eye, And yeah, it was so bright, you know, I'd force my eyes closed and I would tear up. But you know, it's important to do that. So, in summary of that consult, my eye doctor said I'm a good candidate. They're very happy with the health of my eyes. He explained to me that the average eye, or the ideal eye, I guess, is about 1 inch long, and myopia is caused by a longer eye than normal. And so my eyes were something like 1.25 inches long. So just that small difference gives you a highly myopic prescription. Um, but he did want to send me to a retina specialist because there are enhanced risks for anyone who's got myopia. And so I did go get checked out by the retina specialist, and I do have some thin spots on my retina. As he explained to me, 1 out of 3 people have these thin spots, so it's fairly common. And the risk is that you may have a tear at these thin spots. And but he said the risk of that is about 1 in 30,000, so that's good. And for me, he examined my eyes with a bright lamp and a microscope looking thing, I guess, and I'm dilated, and I'm like blinking and stuff because the light's so bright. So he's only getting to look for a few seconds into each eye, and just in that brief time, he told me that he could see that all of my thin spots were at least half thickness, and they've been that way for more than 10 years. So, good and stable. I was impressed that he could tell that in such a short time, but that's why he's a doctor and I'm not. So I've been medically cleared, everything's good to go. My eye doctor said that it'll take 4 to 8 weeks to get the lenses manufactured for me, so I will be doing update videos later. It'll take a little bit of time, but if anybody has any questions about the process so far, I'll try to answer them for you. Just let me know. And if you are highly myopic, ICL can correct up to -20 and up to -5 in astigmatism. So ICL could be a good option for you. All right. Thanks for watching.